we gotta take a look at all these stars that were released and are currently in AEW or in Impact Wrestling or in Ring of Honor, NWA, Major League Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling, everywhere else, and they've had success. They've been in high-profile matches. They've had an opportunity to show what they've got. And I know Deonna Purrazzo was not released in the past 2 years or anytime soon. But she was a part of NXT for quite a while. And WWE did nothing with her. Absolutely nothing. And now she's on Impact, considered to be one of the top professional wrestlers in the world. 2-time Knockouts champion. Over the past 2 years, before Mickie James beat her for the title at Bound for Glory, the Knockouts title was synonymous with Deonna Purrazzo. If you thought about the Knockouts Championship in the past 2 years, you had to think about Deonna Purrazzo. There was nobody else. Jordynne Grace held the title for 3 weeks, 1 month, and that was it. That was it. Everything else, Deonna Purrazzo. I'm blanking out on her. The Virtuosa, sorry. I was blanking out on her nickname on Impact Wrestling. But the Virtuosa, Deonna Purrazzo. Just so good on the mic. Very easy on the eyes. But what she does in that ring to tell a story and the match that got rave reviews at Bound for Glory, which again I haven't watched. It's going to be a lot of that right now. But the rave reviews that she got for her match against Mickie James at Bound for Glory. And WWE cannot figure out what to do with Deonna Purrazzo. The same thing with Mickie James. She's a legend. She's the current Knockouts champion. I believe she's now a 10-time women's champion in WWE and in Impact Wrestling. She went to Bound for Glory. She came back to Impact Wrestling. She put on a great show in NWA Empower. She produced that show. Brought Melina back into professional wrestling. Mickie James is just a very small example of what you can do outside of WWE. I cannot stress that enough. WWE may be the top entertainment company in the world, but they're not the only option. And if you're a wrestling fan, if you're a true hardcore wrestling fan, and you realize that and you understand that, you want to go big time, you want to get the highlights, you want to become a household name, or as close as you're going to get to becoming a household name, then you go and you try to make it in WWE, because at this point, that's mainstream. That's the only way you can get there. And AEW is trying to get close to that. They're not quite there yet. You got Andrade and Malachi Black, amongst other superstars in AEW, who are currently enjoying success in that revolutionary company. Two superstars that, again, creative had nothing for on their programming, on WWE TV. I mean, they never even gave Andrade a shot to be a babyface on WWE television. And guess what? WWE is still looking for their Latino superstar to replace and take over the reins from Rey Mysterio. And if you ask me, they're going to keep looking and looking and looking, because they don't have that current Latino star on their roster. They have Dominic Mysterio, which again, he needs to work a lot to get to that point. He needs to work a lot to even earn the mask or the Rey Mysterio name. I believe he said that he wants that name in the future. He needs to work a lot to get to that point. So I'm not seeing Dominic Mysterio taking that mantle anytime soon. Then you got Malachi Black. Again, you know, if you look back on this YouTube channel, Aleister Black, I keep going to this. All these released superstars, every single one of them, for the most part, had so much potential as a character. they could tell a hell of a story in that ring. And Aleister Black was one of them. If you want to talk about guys that could one day replace the aura and the phenom that The Undertaker and Kane became on WWE television for decades, look no further than a Bray Wyatt. Look no further than an Aleister Black. WWE should have built them up, should have really protected them, given them this aura of not complete invincibility. But if you go up against them, then you're in for some crazy, blow your mind games that will just give the WWE audience something to really bite their teeth into and really enjoy. And the fact that WWE Creative had nothing for them in that arena, in that area of Supernatural. And again, I'm not a big horror fan. I'm not a fan of the Supernatural. But if you bring that to WWE television, and if it worked for the Brothers of Destruction in the past, why can't it work right now for these stars? And you could not do that. You botched that. And now AEW is trying to do the same with Malachi Black. It's not quite working on their show because, again, their show is more about professional wrestling. It's more about competition. It's more about a sports league. So when you bring in a character that is very theatrical, that is very entertainment-based, I'm not saying it's going to fall flat on their feet. It's just going to take them a long while to get there because the AEW audience appreciates guys like Kenny Omega, like Pac, like the Lucha Brothers, like the Young Bucks. Guys who can work in that ring. You have a cool character, fine, but get in that ring and give us a slobber knocker of a match, and we'll care about you. Until then, sure, you got a cool character, but, we care about the in-ring product.